Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps from the for the second round of the ESR GT Prototype Invitational. I'm your host, Michael Magus. I will be doing solo commentary today without my associate Byron Dirksen. 2 attempts to record this with him were made, but unfortunately my internet derailed both of those attempts, and as a result I am running solo for this particular occasion, which just means you get to hear me ramble on more about random inconsequential things. We're heading towards the end of the qualifying session here with Mike Stockmill ahead of Maximiliano Rossi, Nicholas Ali, Dan Bach, and Caleb Gonzalez in the prototype category. And in the GT4 category, we have Joaquin Juan Urena continuing his utter domination of the field. Ahead of Guido De Palma, Tony Sanclair, Zifo Duran, and Martin Hughes. It is an all BMW top 5 there in the multi-car GT4 field. The top non-BMW will be the Lotus of Liam Curtin, who will start from P6 in the GT category. You can see the rest of the grid rolling on through there. A little bit of a lag spike here as the server rolls over, but here we go. This will be a 1-hour affair with a mandatory pit stop in the middle. So we'll see if everybody handles their strategy properly and who could maybe make up ground where there would not be ground to make up if it was just a straight drive to the finish. Mike Stockmill sporting the Daytona Spirit of Daytona car, the Visit Florida blue car that you see there to the right side of the screen. He will lead us away and be perhaps the first man into the vicious Eau Rouge, and we will see a number of other relatively famous turns here today, because of course this is Spa-Francorchamps, probably perhaps the most storied track in all of Europe. It's a tough call, I guess. You gotta look at the Le Mans. Nordschleife is also options in that regard. And of course, people in other countries may even have some other things to say, but I think those are really the 3 candidates. But anyways, we have red lights. Looks like Barrier is starting from the pit lane, and here we go. Stockmill looks like he has gotten a good start, but the inside line is there for Maximiliano Rossi, and he is going for it. Caleb Gonzalez trying to go around the outside there to improve some ground. Dan Bach has seemingly slipped up into 3rd place according to the standings there. Rossi is in the lead heading down to Eau Rouge. Can he hold against Mike Stockmill? The answer appears to be no. Stockmill gets the better of him through Eau Rouge. Dan Bach still in 3rd place, but fighting hard, and he is trying to actually make a run on Rossi while he's at it. Stockmill still in the lead. Dan Bach in 2nd place. Caleb Gonzalez bashing with, that is Maximiliano Rossi, and Gonzalez appears to be in the wall. That is not a good moment for the Peruvian driver. In the meantime, we'll watch the progress of Bertrand Barrier through the field. He is already up past John Picha and Leonard Burke at the back of the GT pack. And now claims Javier Perez Torres. Enrique Hervas running in 6th place. He has had a pretty decent start to the race. He is on the tail of Richard Roche, holding off Martin Edmonds. There you can see Martin Edmonds in the Sun Trust prototype, the number 12 car. And going very wide is Josiah Jerome, and I see one of the other Wayne Taylor machines in the wall there. That appears to be Dan Bach, who has slipped down to the back of the prototype pack, so that must have been him. Josiah Jerome losing a spot there to Kobayashi. So, not sure what happened with Bach, but he is no longer in 2nd place. It is now Stockmill leading from Rossi, Ali, DeRoche, and Hervas, and we ride on board with the 6th place man, Martin Edmonds, who is on the tail of Enrique Hervas. looking to get into that top 5 as we head towards the bus stop chicane. As a kid, this was by far my favorite turn to watch, just as a general note. Couldn't tell you what the logic was behind it, like many things when I was a child, but it is what it is. Martin Edmonds looking down the inside of La Source. I don't think there's anything on there, though. Hervas has got him covered for now. In the GT4 category, it is Juan Urena, De Palma, Duran, Santa Clara, and Hughes. Still your top 5, with Alexander Salutko up to 6th position in the other BMW. Oh, Liam Curtin! Spins it around the background there in the very stylish-looking Lotus, and he will fall back, probably to the back of the pack with a safe rejoin. Barrier is almost through the entirety of the GT field. He has still got to overtake Juan Urena. As Martin Edmonds and Richard DeRoche have a moment there at Eau Rouge, it seems, and Enrique Hervas is going to pick up the pieces and take 4th place. Sean Kenny, Caleb Gonzalez in behind them. And Edmonds is, in fact, going to get ahead of DeRoche. That's, of course, a storied rivalry between those two that has gone across series after series after series. Basically bragging rights for the top Canadian honors, often coming down to Richard DeRoche versus Martin Edmonds. So Curtin is at the back, having that spin at the bus stop. Edmonds is under pressure from... That would be, of course, DeRoche, and in the background there's Sean Kenny in the Red Devil Gainsco car. And DeRoche's got the move done, and in fact, I think Kenny might be coming through as well. And he is! Caleb Gonzalez is going to get through as well, so a disastrous set of corners there for Martin Edmonds. Actually, he's going to hold against Gonzalez. They approach Blanchimont, and he is still on the tail of Sean Kenny, looking to get past. Now, I wouldn't be the betting man to take him on the brakes here at the bus stop. Martin Edmonds has struggled with the brakes in this Daytona prototype for quite some time, and Kenny is going to hold the position for now. Caleb Gonzalez went very deep there. And Gonzalez has got company in behind him in the form of Max Simmons and John Barker. Also in the mix there is Marcelo Giordano. We pick up right now fighting with the other SunTrust car of John Barker. Cole McRae has slipped to the back of the pack, so not sure what has happened there. He was doing quite well. But 5 minutes into the race, he has a bit of a vital setback. Of course, Cole McRae, the voice of the ESR GT Challenge on Estadio Corsa Competizione. Big ups to him and Ayrton Tobin for the fine work they have done with the commentary for that series. We also, to be honest, call them a little bit of a pansy for resisting the urge to turn the Wednesday series into the ACC project. There is the beat-up front end of Dan Bach as he overtakes Wayne Hutchison in Wayne Taylor on Wayne Taylor battle. Though I do believe that when Wayne runs the Wayne Taylor car, it should be just Wayne Racing, as Alexander Salutko looks to slide up the inside of Martin Hughes. Battle of a pair of Academy graduates. Recent Academy grads who've been lighting it up quite a bit, actually, since their graduation. Showing some really strong pace. And once again, representing the ESR Academy program, rest in peace, that had... representing it proudly, I suppose. Rightfully, making it, bringing it to the fore once again as Richard DeRoche continues to trail Enrique Hervas, and this is Sergio Mengual fighting with James Butler, the Porsche veteran. I think will have to give way here. No! Good run, and he will hold on to the position against the Lotus through Pouillon. And that is the battle for 7th place in the GT category, and also top non-BMW honors, as the BMW M4 has been absolutely dominant in all the GT4 stuff that we have done. It is a super, super strong car, and the rest of the pack is not quite able to hold a candle to it. Stoffel continues lead now by 2.8 points over Rossi. We'll see if Rossi can make him work for it. I'll tell you who's working right now, though, is Enrique Hervas, who just lost 4th place to Richard Durocher. They've got Sean Kinney and Martin Edmonds on their tail. Caleb Gonzalez in the far background as well. I'd say Caleb is a danger man, always very, very fast. See if Hervas can do anything about Durocher here. A lot of smoke coming off Durocher's car there as we head down to Pouillon. Surprising to note, Cole McRae is still at the back of the pack. I wonder if there's something significantly wrong with his car. As I had somewhat expected after he slipped to the back that he would be able to come forward, and that has not remotely been the case. Marcelo Giordano, Max Simmons battling over 9th place. Giordano faked to the outside, tried to go inside, but Simmons is still going to hang on to that position for the time being. Giordano qualified rather poor by his standards, and I am wondering if he'll come flying through the field. We've seen some progress, but he seems relatively stuck behind Simmons right now. I have a text message. Just give me one moment, please. Nothing important as Josiah Jerome takes 11th position from Sean Barker. Barker's trying to come back at him, though. They took very, very different lines through La Source, and that could equal going side by side through Eau Rouge. Does Barker have the bravery? Nope. He will tuck in behind Jerome through the ever dangerous, ever challenging, ever thrilling turn that is known as Eau Rouge. But in the meantime, the other Suncrust car of Martin Edmonds is under significant fight with the Wayne Taylor Racing Caleb Gonzalez car. Gonzalez appears to have gotten through. And it is still Edmonds and then Simmons and Giordano running off the top 10. See if Barker or Edmonds can fight back. It's been a rough lap for the SunTrust cars. As they are each losing their respective battles, as Sean Kinney is up on the tail of Enrique Hervas. Giordano still on the tail of Max Simmons, battle for 9th place. This has been going on for quite a while, actually, I think. Both men have kind of moved through the grid a little bit, but largely have stayed together. Sean Kinney is all over the back of Enrique Hervas. Do I smell maybe a move coming into the bus stop here? No, I think there's too much separation there. But it does feel like it's only a matter of time before Caleb Gonzalez is up on them, though, and that could complicate matters incredibly. Despite the damage to his front end, Dan Bach is running in 14th place still. He had been up in 13th, but has lost that spot back to Kobayashi. So Sean Kinney has got a shift now from the offensive to the defensive mindset. He slipped back of Enrique Hervas and is now in the clutches of Caleb Gonzalez, who is, much like the shark from Jaws, somewhat of a menacing presence behind you. You hear the theme song a little bit while he's coming for you. And Fumihiro Kobayashi is still on the tail of John Barker. Or just is on the tail of John Barker, actually. I don't know if we've really checked it on that battle previously. This is playing in the hands of Martin Edmonds as well. This squabble over 5th place is bringing him closer to the fight once again. I wonder if he has some kind of flat spot or anything. Cole McRae in the Porsche is up ahead of them, so that's a blue flag scenario. As we are seeing the first bits of traffic be cleared by the prototype cars. It'll happen a couple times more, probably about 5 times, maybe. And more than that actually, probably only about 5 times. But these prototypes, of course, considerably slower or considerably faster than the GTs. The GTs are probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20 seconds. It's just a broad idea of pace differential. And of course, they are somewhat less talented drivers than their prototype counterparts, as the prototypes are the top men. Caleb Gonzalez using the blue flags to his advantage and overtakes both Sean Kenny and Enrique Hervas. We'll see if he can hold it into the bus stop here. Kenny looking for a move, but Hervas actually is the one that comes around the outside of Kenny and gets the inside into the next part of the bus stop. Martin Edmonds is in the fight as well there in the SunTrust car, and there are some of the leading GT cars around them as well. Actually, I suppose they aren't, because that's Liam Curtin that I'm seeing there in the Lotus, so that'd be more like Peter Stefani, John Picha, and the like that are being lapped here. Michael Magus gives way to the battle for 5th place between Enrique Hervas and Caleb Gonzalez. Dan Bach, I mean, it's been a struggle. He's got that beat up front nose. He's now on the tail of John Barker and looking for a run down the Campbell Straight. They've got a GT car there as well, so that complicates things quite a bit. They'll easily overtake him, and Bach has got 13th place as well, so he gets through the blue flag and gets the spot, although he messes up into Lake Home. And John Barker is going to take it back for the SunTrust crew. Or is he? Bach gets a run and just goes around the outside of him. It's amazing. We know Bach has damage on the front of that car, yet it just seems to be able to still grip, where you really wouldn't think about it. That was an overtake that I just would not have thought happened unless John Barker kind of let him have it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there was some contact in there we missed. Anyways, though, Barker, they continue to battle as they go splitting around a blue BMW. That's usually the car driven by Javier Perez Torres, I believe. And for now, the battle has favored Barker, but as they come to Michael Magus, which I think does confirm that was, in fact, Javier Perez Torres who's lapped there. In the meantime, Marcelo Giordano and Max Simmons continue to battle. They have drifted a little bit off the battle further up. And Martin Edmonds has drifted off that battle even, so Edmonds is not seemingly having any real pace here, as Bach makes the statement makes the claim on P13. Sean Kenny looking to make some moves here again on Hervas. They lost out to Caleb Gonzalez, but their fight continues. And so does the one between Josiah Jerome and Kobayashi, with Jerome hanging on for the time being. Kobayashi seems a bit weird, though. He's of all the drivers in the field, he's the one that seems to be drifting forwards and backwards the most. Perhaps a case of great pace, but lacking the consistency to avoid making mistakes. Oh, that's not a good call. Way on the grass through the Campbell Straight. That's going to cost him speed and also could have cost him some grip, especially with the way the race room tire models are. The smoke there. Is somebody off the track? Not that I can see. These blue flags will play a big role for the prototype cars and for the GT cars. So there'll be a lot of blue flag traffic, and if you can manage to deal with it the best you can by picking the right locations and handling the right etiquette when it comes to the blue flags, you will probably be able to make up a fair amount of time. time. Hervas is back to 10th place. He's lost out to Giordano, to Edmonds, and to Simmons, as well as Kenny. Not sure what's going on there. As they go, they split the difference on a blue flag there as he battles now with Max Simmons. So Hervas versus Simmons, two very rambunctious drivers, tenacious. This could be a very interesting fight. Well, for now, Hervas got past him there, and Simmons is going for it. Like I said, tenacious. Problem is that's going to turn into the inside line for against Simmons, and indeed it will be Enrique Hervas who retains 9th place. We're over a quarter of the way through the distance here, and we should be seeing some pit stops in the next 5 minutes or so, depending on how the race flows. Side by side through Eau Rouge. Gentlemen, I'm not sure about the wisdom of this. Little bit of contact, but not too much. But that was close. Hervas still on the tail of Simmons. Stop mill watch, he's up to about 8 seconds over Maximiliano Rossi. Haven't really been talking about the positions in GT4 because they've not really been changing. I think the top 5 has been the same this entire race, outside of the change between Saluco and Hughes, and now Hughes fighting with Sergio Mengual. That might produce something, but then it's Butler, Magus, Curtin, Peaches, Stefan. I guess the only thing is that Javier Perez Torres has slipped quite a ways back now, so problems for Javi P. He had previously been ahead of both Liam Curtin, John Peter Stefani, and Cole McRae, so a number of positions lost there. That makes me think that something has happened badly there, as Enrique Hervas is coming up a little bit lame, or is that just me thinking that that prototype is moving quite slowly? And Max Simmons disappearing into the distance with the battle between Josiah Jerome and Fumihiro Kobayashi behind that. Drive-through penalty track limit abuse for Marcelo Giordano up at 8th place. So that's a big deal. That'll knock him out of the top 10 for sure. Cole McRae is up on the bumper of Peter Stefani. This is for 28th overall and 12th in the category. And I think Stefani may have cracked a little bit under the pressure there. Slides wide, and Cole McRae easily takes 12th place. Be interesting to look back and see where Giordano picked up the penalty, as we have moved over the 1/3 mark of the race. Might start seeing some pit stops now. I personally wouldn't think we're going to see them for another 10 minutes, but I think we could see some earlier ones. This could be a chance to dip in a little bit. I think maybe 5 minutes from now, 4 minutes from now. Can't remember where the window opens. But might see something here early if you're carrying some damage, or you went with a lighter first stint to hopefully help you through traffic, maybe. Depends what the drivers were thinking. Certainly those who have been battling will have asked a fair bit more of their tires, and that would be something to consider. Sergio Mengual still on the tail of Martin Hughes. Hughes lost out in his fight with Saluco, who you see ahead there in the Viva car. He's no doubt absolutely determined to stay ahead of the non-BMW of Sergio Mengual. Again, there is no brand teammates going on here. Nothing of that kind of nature. But there is a certain pride the BMW crew takes in being able to largely shut out the non-BMWs from the top 5. And it's quite a different thing to be beaten by a non-BMW in these GT4 cars. James Butler is catching up to this battle as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get in there. Max Simmons going down the inside of Marcel Giordano. Keep in mind, Giordano does have that drive-through penalty, so not necessarily the most needed thing, but if he feels he's being held up, obviously you got to go. And Simmons would like a crack at Martin Edmonds before the end of this race, and he is now 5.3 seconds behind him, so definitely needed to get clear Giordano, who may not be moving quite as quickly as he would like to. There is Edmonds ahead of them, and behind them is still the battle between a new battle actually. It's Kobayashi is caught up to Hervas. He's kind of broken ties with Josiah Jerome and into the fight with Enrique for that final top 10 spot. We do have our first pit stopper. Leonard Burke has been in and out of the pits and served his pit stop. You will be able to tell who is pitted via the green circle beside their names for the pit stop stats. Sergio Mengual on the tail of Martin Hughes, who in turn is on the tail of Alexander Saluko, 5th, 6th, and 7th in the GT category. Mengual is a little bit more Susan than the two cars ahead of him, but is battling with the fact that he is in a Lexus as opposed to a Lotus as opposed to a BMW. And another BMW on Lotus fight is this one between Michael Magus and Liam Curtin, battling it out for 9th place in the category. Whoa! So a bold three-way fight here for 10th place between Hervas, Kobayashi, and Jerome. Heading into the bus stop. Oh, that could have ended very badly. Marcel Giordano, in the meantime, getting into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. That was for abuse of track limits. Probably will drop him down, maybe to around Wayne Hutchison. We'll see where he comes out. Sergio Mengual still on the tail of Martin Hughes, still in that top non-BMW role. Enrique Hervas is the man we are on board with as he battles with Fumihiro Kobayashi. This is heading up to Lake Combe along the Camel Straight. Lovely view here provided of the Forest of Spa. Fumihiro Kobayashi gets the job done. That's 9th place. That was for 10th, but it is 9th now with the drive-through penalty for Marcel Giordano. We'll have to see if Giordano can come back through the field. Dan Bacchus got him to the back end of this one. Dan Bacchus may be one that would be inclined to look at a pit stop. He of course had some contact with the wall on lap 1. And as a result, does have a somewhat squashed in front end. I don't know what they can do for that in the pits, but he may want to try it. Michael Magus and Liam Curtin fighting through, I believe that was Stavlo? Not sure. Could be wrong. Hell of a fight going on here at the tail end of the top 10 between Kobayashi, Hervas, Jerome, and Bach. Whoa! Contact between Hervas and I believe that was Leonard Burke in the GT car, the red Porsche. And the chaos has left the door open for Josiah Jerome against Kobayashi, and he heads to the pit lane. Not sure if that was entirely intentional, if I'm being quite honest. Looked like he was going for the overtake, and then either realized he couldn't really hit the apex, and that this was as good a time as any to just continue on down the pit lane. We can safely assume he'll come out behind Giordano. And that means that that'll probably be last save, perhaps Enrique Hervas. Giordano also in the pit lane. Was in not long ago to serve his penalty as Wayne Hutchison overtakes a very slow-moving Dan Bach there down the Campbell Straight. Wonder if there's problems for Dan Bach. Stop Bill is now... You gotta be kidding me. 15.6 seconds ahead as Caleb Gonzalez overtakes Richard DeRoche. Problems there between, I want to say, Saluco and Hughes, which has put Mengwal into the top 5. I don't know why, but I just randomly thought of this reaction song to "And We Run," which is a Within Temptation featuring Exhibit song, and the guy really who was reacted to it was very interesting, when explaining Exhibit. Just like, have you not even seen Pit My Ride? I don't even know if I want to be your friend anymore. It was pretty amusing. So Josiah Jerome, we saw Jerome and Giordano pit. Hervas has apparently been into the pits as well. Makes sense. He had that relatively hard contact with Leonard Burke. And some blue flag activity here coming through Eau Rouge for Maximiliano Rossi, who lost a spot to Nicholas Ali at some point. And I think that's what has opened up the massive gap at the front that I was remarking on for Mike Stoppmill, is that I think Rossi made a mistake at some point and has rejoined behind Ali. Because he was quite a ways ahead of Nicholas Ali before, relatively recently. So either he's had a number of small mistakes / going quite slowly. It might want to consider getting in the pits if that is the case, or made a major mistake and lost a spot to Ali that way. Still a lot of pit stop action to go. I think Dan Bach is in the pits. Richard Roche in the pit lane. She may be out of the pit lane now. I may have spoken slightly off kilter there. Maximiliano Rossi on the tail of Nicholas Ali, battling for the pride of Argentina. Just enjoy the sounds of those engines for a little bit here. Well, oh, never mind. Some rude contact between Ali and I think that's either Tony Santa Clara or Juan Urena. They're the ones that run those liveries. Hopefully no damage was incurred by either car. Martin Hughes has taken this time to go in for his pit stop. He has come out ahead of Javier Perez-Torres still, so Javi is having a rough day as we ride with Martin Edmondson. But there is actually Javi in the pit lane, I think, so that may sadly explain part of the bad day. Somewhat legitimately surprised that Dan Bach has ended up behind Marcelo Giordano despite the drive-thru penalty. As Martin Edmonds rejoins. Well behind Richard Roche, it seems. He'll be behind the other SunTrust car of John Barker. So the prototypes appear to be the ones more in need of the pit stops than the GTs. We have not seen a lot of GT pitting. Martin Hughes, I think, was a damage stop more than anything else. It will count as mandatory, but I believe that contact with Saluco is what really was the driving methodology there. It looks like Saluko may, in fact, be out of the race, as Rossi takes back second place from Nicholas Ali, at least for the time being. Now, we saw earlier on that I don't think Ali really has the pace to match Rossi, and Rossi has blown him out of the water already. It's already eked out over a full second as we just head down to bus stop. I'm wondering if Ali has an interesting setup going on, because he seems to be getting in the slower parts of the track, but is unable to keep up through like the Blanchiments, the Pouillon, that kind of sweeping turn, and also seems a little bit slow down the Camel Straight. So I wonder if he's done something interesting with his setup as he. The race leader is in, so Mike Stockmill is in. We'll see where he comes out. Looks like if I were a betting man, also Wayne Hutchison is in. Wayne, what is this? You're not the last one to pit. Have you finally adjusted your strategy? So here is the effective race leader, Mike Stockmill, overtaking Caleb Gonzalez there. Or coming out ahead of Gonzalez, I should say. Kind of overtaking him. But Ali and Rossi are ahead of him on track, but that is because they have not pitted. And Stockmill has. Looks like that podium is really safe, though, between the three of them, because Caleb Gonzalez, who it should be mentioned still has to pit, is behind Stockmill after the pit stop, and I believe he was in a legitimate fourth place. So, granted, some things going on still with the DeRoches, the Kennys, the Edmondses of the world, that might shake out still, but quite a gap to work with there. Nicholas Ali takes the lead from Rossi here. Tony Santa Clara battling with Zifo Duran for that final podium spot. They've got one of the SunTrust cars behind them. Not sure if that's Edmonds or Barker. Either way, not being the most considerate of Blue Flag's cars there, but oh, there we go. Ali in the pit lane. Very abusive pit lane entry there. Anyways, Rossi to the front. Little surprised Rossi came in before Ali. It seemed like Ali's tires were holding up much better. Nicholas Ali rejoining the circuit. He's lost spots to Gonzalez and Simmons, but they are not yet. They have not pitted yet, so he's in an effective third place. Tony Santa Clara again causing a little bit of problems with the prototypes. That is, I think, Max Simmons and Caleb Gonzalez going through. No, that's the wrong order, actually. It could be... Not sure who that is. It's Josiah Jerome. Oh, it's Jerome and Kobayashi. Okay. Been an interesting day for Bertrand Barrier, who started from the pit lane and is running in 14th position ahead of Wayne Hutchison and Enrique Hervas. Hervas had a terrible day. Just has gotten from bad to worse. I have certain concerns when I look down the timing sheet there and see that John Peach is almost 2 minutes behind a car that has pitted, and he is not pitted. So, could be problems. That is Guido De Palma going to the pit lane there from second place. See if he can time his pit stop and get things done perfectly. Tony Santa Clara, Zifo Duran still in their private little battle, and Duran's got him. That's Duran to the lead, of course. Juan Urena is the effective leader. He's been into the pits and served his pit stop. So we're seeing Magus come in, David Curtin, Cole McRae, Peter Stefani. So the yet to pit include Butler, Mengual, Santa Clara, and Duran. Peach, I think, is out of the race. James Butler in for service. And in the GT or in the prototype category, we still have Gonzalez, Simmons, and Rossi yet to pit. Liam Curtin under pressure from Cole McRae. So McRae is coming back from whatever happened to him earlier on. Bertrand Barrier on the tail of John Barker. So the second half of the race is going better for Barrier than the first round. But of course, the pit lane start was a big part of that. And since there was no significant carnage through the first bit, he did not benefit from that safety approach. Now, if I'm Santa Clara and Duran, I think I need to realize that really the problem is that Sergio Mengual, who was behind them before, is catching up to them at a fairly good rate, because they are squabbling for this race lead that effectively doesn't mean anything, because Juan Urena is only 8.6 seconds behind this. If I were these two gentlemen, I would get in the pits, get that pit stop served, and get away from this fight for a little bit, get some clear air, and pump some laps. Santa Clara taking the lead back. So the rate Duran is dropping. I think he made it in the pit lane. Martin Hughes with the beat up front end. I believe that was from contact with Saluco, which is a case of you should have seen the other guy, because the other guy retired. So presumably he looks worse. There is Guido De Palma. He does overtake Duran while Duran is in the pit lane. So Tony Santa Clara, until his pit stop, is the leader of the GT category. He is yet to pit along with Simmons and Gonzalez in the prototype category. I showed no pit stop for Picha and Saluko, but I'm pretty sure Saluko is out, and I'm also... Well, actually, let me correct that. I know Saluko is out, and I'm pretty sure that additionally John Picha is out. As well as, of course, Leonard Burke, who has parked it somewhere on the track. Oh, Barrier has a chance here with John Barker making a mistake out of the source. And he's going to outdrive him down towards Eau Rouge. Here we go. Okay, Barker's not even close to making it. Okay. So that's from this point onwards, fairly straightforward. I believe that is Martin Hughes up ahead of them. Still waiting on the pit stops of Santa Clara, Simmons, and Gonzalez. Barker down the inside. Oh, that could have been a little ugly. Into the pits goes Simmons. That'll free up Nicholas Ali. Ali ended up quite a ways behind Rossi. Or no, Rossi's in the pits. Okay. Or off. Where's Rossi? Where is he? Is he in the pits? Must be in the pits. The gap is growing very rapidly. Richard Roche looking a little banged up there as he puts a lap on Guido de Palma. So, oh, somebody off the track there. Martin Hughes going through. That must have been Cole McRae. So Tony St. Clair has made his pit stop. And it looks like going long did go his favor. He's overtaken De Palma and Duran. Although the fact that Duran is some 25 seconds behind De Palma makes me think that that may not be entirely a strategic thing. I'm thinking that perhaps Duran has had a moment out on track. As Guido de Palma allows some of the prototypes through. Not sure what happened with Rossi. Thought maybe he had pitted, but he is now, in fact, behind Sean Kinney. And back in 6th place. This man had previously been seemingly unstoppable to 2nd place. And we have confirmation on the retirement of John Picha. Liam Curtin has overtaken Michael Magus for 7th place, and they are squabbling for that position. Just looking at the gaps here, they're pretty safe to behind, pretty safe ahead. Really just a full board fight for them for the last 14 minutes here over that 7th place. So De Palma is about a second behind Tony St. Clara. And like I said, something must have happened to Duran. Second half of this race has not gone well for Martin Edmonds, who has dropped back into a fight for 7th place with Max Simmons. De Palma all over the back of Santa Clara. This is for 2nd place, although they are quite behind GT class leader Joaquim Juan Urena. Guido De Palma still on the tail there with they've kind of got one of the Wayne Taylor cars stuck behind them here as they fight, which is a little rude. Let's see if he's going to force his way through a little bit. Oh, a little contact. The contact is kind of easy to find because unfortunately these prototypes have a relatively long braking distance compared to the GTs, so it's a bit strange to have the faster car be that longer on the brakes than the slower classic car. It does lead to some bizarre and not tremendously predictable scenarios with the blue flags. Bus stop. De Palma's still chasing Santa Clara, and they've got another prototype coming up behind them. We'll try to zip by, I'm sure, on the straightaway here, leading up to La Source. There he goes. That is the visual indication of what the pace difference between these two cars are. Not that it overly matters, but Juan Urena, I'm sure, is pretty pleased that these two are squabbling so much. I don't even think he's necessarily pushing. Oh, no! Max Simmons in the wall. And Tony Santa Clara in a Rouge with Guido De Palma, but he makes the overtake work. Or I should say the defense, he was ahead of De Palma before that. So, another one of the Wayne Taylor cars coming. There are three of them in a row. Josiah Jerome, Marcelo Giordano, and Dan Bach, all the same livery. So, he'll thread his way through the GT traffic. I think that one is Dan Bach. What else is going on? So Curtin and Magus are still squabbling. Mengual is pretty close to Duran, but that gap seems fairly stable at about 2.1, 2.3, 2.5 seconds. I'll keep an eye on that. See if it cuts below 2 seconds, and then if it does, we'll get hyped a little bit. But that appears to be the extent of the battles going on right now. I stand corrected. Bertrand Barrier is on the tail of John Barker, and they should be the next ones to lap this battle here between De Palma and Santa Clara. Less than 10 minutes to go here. Almost 90% of the way through this race. There's still some things to be decided. Still some close battles going on right now. Very beat up car up ahead. That would be Javier Perez Torres, who I think is just dragging it around at this point for the points. He is 2 laps down to Peter Stefani, and not really racing at this point. He's just there. Michael Magus lining up an inside move here on Liam Curtin. I don't think that's really coming to anything, though, through the bus stop. And Sean Kinney, the Gainsco Red Bull or Red Devil car right on their tail. As one of the SunTrust cars recovers from an off. That must be John Barker because he's lost a spot to Bertrand Barrier. Race leader Mike Mill getting very fine margins there with the battle between De Palma and Santa Clara for second place in GT. Don't know about you, but I don't know if I would have had the balls to do that, being 38 seconds up. Right on board with Guido De Palma in the Turner Motorsports BMW. Very nice car. Trying to go around the outside, which will turn into the inside in the second half of the bus stop. I think he's got it. Oh, I don't know if the Stewart might take a dim view to the swerve there, but got the job done. But is not over yet. Tony Santa Clara all over him as they head towards La Source. No offense to myself, but I don't want to see me right now. I want to see Tony Santa Clara. I want to see Guido De Palma. That's the battle we are really interested in right now. It's for second place. It's drastically close. And as well, as much as my battle with Liam Curtin is here, kind of the number 2 battle, and well, maybe number 3 after Rossi was caught up to Sean Kinney here into the bus stop, although this one I feel feels a little bit more anticlimactic because I think Rossi's got the pace. But there we are. Santa Clara is now behind De Palma after the somewhat questionable contact at the bus stop, and he goes back past. Rossi is definitely desperately searching for a way past Sean Kinney as well. And some blue flags getting in the way of the fight right now as one of the Wayne Taylor cars makes his way through. I'd say one of, because we have, like, I think 5 on the track. Let's see here. Wayne Taylor cars, Gonzalez, you've got Jerome, Giordano, Bach, and Hutchison. Makes it a little bit hard to tell who's who. Rossi on the tail of Sean Kinney. Sean Kinney's got a beat-up nose, so he's had a date with something very solid at some point, but he is still holding a 5th place, so like Dan Bach earlier, it looks like that front nose section could be crumpled and not overly affect the pace of the car. As we're down to the last 4 minutes here. So 2 to 3 laps around Spa, depending on when Mike Stockmill hits the end of his lap. And Rossi makes the overtake happen. Can Kenny fight back here in the latter part of the lap? Meantime, De Palma, Santa Clara continue their battle. Santa Clara now with a little bit of breathing space in second place. In many ways, I would have to say that Tony Santa Clara has been the driver of the second half of the race. Was 4th place for a long time, now in second place in the GT category. Made up some ground when he ran long, overtaking Zivo Duran and Guido De Palma. And he's still very much ahead of Duran. De Palma may be a different story. As Fumihiro Kobayashi, quietly Kobayashi's made a very good run as well. He's up on the tail of Martin Edmonds. They're battling for 7th place. And back to Santa Clara, De Palma. De Palma got past Santa Clara. Can he hold it this time? Should be one more lap for them after this. Looking to the inside, nothing there. Door closed by De Palma. So Edmonds is, at least for the time being, lost out to Kobayashi. That should be fairly safe. Ooh, Santa Clara moving a bit slowly there. Maybe a bonk with De Palma. Well, I may have cast or cursed Tony Santa Clara. I did not realize the last little bit was so struggling for him. My apologies, Tony. But it looks like Guido De Palma now is fairly safe in that second place. Magus has taken a second out of Curtin, so that battle is still going. Sean Kenny is not terribly far away from Maximiliano Rossi, but you just have to believe that... Oh, God! One of the BMWs almost really taking out... I think that might have been Peter Stefani. Not to throw shade, but that was a scary little moment. Should be the final lap for everybody now. Mike Stopmill. Stopmill watch! 46.5 seconds. Just don't think Kenny really has the pace to take it to Rossi. Is there any fight that I'd rather be seeing right now, though? Not really. Magus appears to have made a mistake and dropped back 3.5 seconds there. Closest GT battle is Sergio Mengual, about 2 seconds behind Zifo Duran. Nothing really there. As they come up to Joaquin Juan Urena. And, oh, Cole McRae stopped in a somewhat dangerous area there. So that brings that battle to an end. Sean Kenny unable to bring in a top 5 there. As Martin Edmonds cuts down Kobayashi for... Oh, well, that might be why Cole McRae was not moving all that much. That is a very beat-up front end. Just kind of waiting for the results here to become final. I don't think there's going to be any position changes by the looks of it. Everybody is fairly spaced out. I believe the camera is picking up people on their cooldown lap like Wayne Hutchison here, so should not be terribly long. Dan Bach and Javier Perez Torres coming to the line. All right, there we go. Mike Stockmill is your winner. Also the fastest lap by about 1 second. 9/10 of a second over Maximiliano Rossi, anyways. So Stockmill, Ali, DeRoche, Rossi, Kenny, Kobayashi, Edmonds, Simmons, Jerome, and Giordano, despite his 10-second, or not 10-second, his drive-through penalty. Piece of track limits in it. Looks like Caleb Gonzalez got toppled down the order. May have forgotten to pit based on that 90-second penalty there. In the GT category, it is the all Spanish-speaking podium of Joaquin Guanyarena, Guido De Palma, and Tony Santa Clara, followed by Zifo Duran, Sergio Mengual, James Butler, Liam Curtin, Michael Magus, Martin Hughes, Cole McRae, and I couldn't get any further before the video got cut off. My apologies. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this run through Spa. What do we got coming up? We had the Enduro server today, so it was Enduro, not Multiclass. Actually, well, it was Multiclass, but it was Multiclass Enduro Series, GT3s and GT4s. And the next stop for this series will be in a week's time at Imola. And we've got ACC Challenge coming up at Nürburgring. That'll be really fun. I might as well just pull up the on tap here. On tap. Right. Problem is, of course, this is just coming up to the end of this week. So no Wednesday 3D Speed this week, as we are still in the process of deciding the future of that series, what form it will take. And there's some Settle Corsa stuff that I'm not really keeping up on. Automobile Lease to Action as well as for R Factor. Check it all out on the Discord, and we always welcome new racers, regardless of skill, as long as you're going to try to race clean and read our rules, basically. And I will see you guys for the next commentary gig I do, which will be probably the Enduro that happened today.